What's going on, guys? T-Mart here, and today I'm bringing you guys some more Titanfall multiplayer gameplay. And in this video, I wanted to talk about and kind of give you guys a quick little preview of the created class system, or the loadout system, as it's called in Titanfall, where you can fully customize and equip up both your pilot and your Titans. So I was lucky enough to be invited out to an EA event in LA a couple of weeks ago to play the beta version of this game early, and since the beta is coming out here in a couple of days and the full game's coming out in less than a month, I figured why not show you guys what you're going to be working with and what kind of customization options you have. So anyway, starting off, there are two sections of the loadout screen, both pilot and Titan. So let's start here with your pilot. There are a bunch of different things you can change. Your primary weapon, attachments, anti-Titan weapon, secondary weapon, tactical ability, ordnance, and then your tier 1 and tier 2 kits, which are pretty much like perks in Call of Duty. But anyway, starting off here with the primary weapons, there are 5 available in the beta version of the game. First up, we've got the R101C carbine, which just kind of seems like your run-of-the-mill assault rifle. Like, it's a solid weapon. It kills pretty quickly, 3 or 4 shots, something like that. And it's good from all ranges. You know, it's not bad up close. It excels at medium range. Long range gets a little bit hairy. But yeah, it seems like your regular kind of all-purpose assault rifle. So that thing's pretty good. Make sure you guys check it out. Next up, we've got the EVA-8 shotgun. So this is a typical shotgun. You know, there's nothing really too special about this thing either. I've noticed that with the map sizes and stuff, I was getting in a lot of more medium to long range engagements. So, you know, the shotgun is going to be at a disadvantage in a lot of situations, but with all the free running you can do and all the walls you can go up and buildings you can fly over and all kinds of stuff, it's not too hard to get up close to and, you know, behind and to the side of enemies. So the shotgun can be pretty good if you use it in that way. Now, next up, the Smart Pistol MK5. This thing is one of my favorite weapons in the game, and it's by far one of the coolest weapons I've ever seen in a first-person shooter. I actually put up a full gameplay with this thing just earlier today, like a couple hours ago, so make sure you guys check that out. But anyway, this thing has like a built-in aimbot. This Smart Pistol, you have to get people within range and within your crosshairs, and then it auto-locks onto their head. And it shoots them and it, you know, kills them instantly. So that thing's pretty good. Next up, we've got the R97 Compact SMG. This was the one weapon that I didn't use much. I don't think I had it unlocked at that point in the beta or something like that, but I'm assuming that's just going to be your run-of-the-mill SMG. And then finally, we've got the Longbow DMR Sniper, which I also put up a video earlier today about. But this thing is, it's not bad. It's your run-of-the-mill sniper. The thing is in Titanfall, grunts, like the little minions and stuff, are one-shot kills. But other pilots, like other human players, are 2 shots to the chest, or a headshot is the only way you can get a one-shot kill. So that is pretty interesting. It adds a little bit of skill to the mix. Now, also on your weapons, they do have all kinds of attachments, you know, everything from optics to extended mags, suppressors, scatter fire, which is like rapid fire. Like, they've got the typical attachments you would expect on each of the class of weapon. Now, next up, we've got your anti-Titan weapon, and this thing is extremely important, almost more important than your primary weapon at times, because this is what you use to combat Titans when you're not in a Titan. You know, this thing is pretty effective against Titans. It takes quite a few hits to be able to take them down, but you can as a pilot if you're creative and you're crafty. So there are 2 available in the beta. One is the Archer Heavy Rocket, which is a powerful homing rocket that you have to lock on to the Titan with and then shoot it. And honestly, I didn't really have that much success with this thing. My favorite one was the Sidewinder, which is your second option, which is pretty much a full auto micro missile launcher. Like, it shoots really, really fast and it does a lot of damage. So, you know, it doesn't lock on, so you got to be looking at the Titans. You got to stay, you know, in cover so they can't take you out and things like that. But it takes them down relatively quickly. So that thing's pretty useful. Now, next up for your secondary weapon, there are 2 options. One is the RE45 auto pistol, which is a fully automatic 45 caliber pistol. It's pretty good. It takes people down pretty quickly. Honestly, the secondary weapons in this game are pretty good. Like, when you get in those close quarter combats, I would rather be using my pistol than using my assault rifle, which is kind of cool. And the second option you have is just like a regular semi-auto pistol, the Hammond P2011, which has slightly more damage and slightly more range than that full auto pistol. Now, next up, you've got your tactical abilities, which are almost like superpowers in a way. Like, these are like perks, but times 10. Like, they're a lot more effective. So the first tactical ability you have is the Cloak, and this is the one I use the most. It makes you almost completely invisible to most Titans and minions, but it's not quite as effective against pilots. So how you use this is, I think it's RB or LB, one of those two. You press it, and then when you're a pilot on the ground, you pretty much go invisible against other Titans, and it's like a timed thing. Like, it doesn't last forever, and then, you know, once it wears out, you have to let it regen and stuff, but that thing's pretty useful. The other option you have is Stim, which boosts your movement speed and health regeneration for a short period of time. So that can be useful as well. It just kind of depends on what game mode you're using. But overall, I like the Cloak tactical ability the best. Next up, you've got your Ordnance, which is kind of like your equipment, your grenades, things like that. There are frag grenades, which are, obvious. They explode, they do damage, they kill people. Arc grenades inflict limited damage compared to the frag grenades. So they're a lot weaker, but they also heavily distort the vision of Titans and pilots. So it's kind of like a flashbang mixed with a frag in that regard. Now, next up, you've got your kits. There's tier 1 kit and tier 2 kit. These are basically like your perks. For tier 1 kit, you've got enhanced parkour, which makes you wall run and wall hang for increased periods of time, which is really, really useful. This is probably my favorite tier 1 perk because wall running and, free running and all kinds of stuff is really, really useful in this game. There's also an explosives pack that increases your ordnance ammo capacity, so it gives you more of those grenades. And then finally, the last tier 1 kit option you have is called Power Cell, which accelerates the recharging of your tactical abilities. So you could use like Cloak or Stim more often. So that's pretty good as well. Now, next up for tier 2, your second group of perks, I guess you could call them, we've got Dome Shield Battery, which extends the duration of your shield after Titanfall. So when you call in your Titan, he comes down to the ground, and there's a giant shield that keeps enemies out, and it keeps enemies from being able to shoot you while you're getting into them. So that will make that last longer. There's also Minion Detector, which displays both friendly and enemy grunts and specters on your mini-map at all times. I found this pretty useful. You can kind of see where the enemy is going to be coming from, where they're going to be spawning, things like that. And then finally, there's Warp Fall Transmitter, which accelerates your Titanfall substantially. So I believe what this does is it makes it so that your Titan falls out of the sky quicker. It doesn't give you one quicker, but when you call it in, instead of taking like, I don't know, 5 seconds or so for it to reach the ground, it comes down in just a couple. So I don't know. I haven't really seen that. I haven't used it, but that's what I'm assuming. And then finally, the last option you have to change is you can change your gender, so you can be a male or a female in the game. Now, next up on the other side of your customization loadout options, you've got the Titan loadout. So I actually don't have any good gameplay of this. I don't know what happened to the file. I lost it, but I do know most of the options you have. So starting off with your Titan, you can choose different chassis. So I think there are 3 chassis at this point. I don't know if there's going to be more, but there's Atlas, Strider, and Ogre. And basically what these are is they're different ratios of armor to mobility. So Atlas is kind of like the run-of-the-mill medium one. It's got medium grade armor and medium mobility. Strider has low armor but high mobility, so he's going to be able to move around a lot faster. I'm not sure if he can jump or things like that, but yeah, he'll be able to move around more easily and more quickly. And then finally there's Ogre, which has super heavy armor but low mobility, so he's going to be even slower than everybody else. He's not going to be able to move around much. He's definitely not going to be able to jump, but he's going to have a ton of armor and be able to take a ton of damage. So it's kind of cool to be able to choose which one of those you want. I've heard Ogre is the best, although I never unlocked it. But anyway, moving on, you've got your weapons for your Titan. The 3 that I remember using, I think there's 4 overall, but the 3 I remember using were the XO16 chain gun, the 40mm cannon, and the quad rocket. The chain gun is pretty much like a normal assault rifle, kind of like the R101C, whatever, the first carbine rifle that we had for the pilot. It's an assault rifle. It works well. The 40mm cannon is a slower shooting, kind of like semi-automatic type gun that does a lot more damage. This thing is better for those long distance engagements if you want to stay towards the edge of the map and shoot in at Titans and at other people. And then finally, the quad rocket is a really interesting one. It's literally a rocket launcher that you shoot like groups of, I think, 4 or 5 rockets at people, and it's really, really good, but it's hard to hit people at medium to long range distances. So it's almost like the shotgun type weapon of the Titans, which is pretty useful. Now, next up, Titans also have tactical abilities. So there is the Vortex Shield. This is by far the best one that I've seen so far. This thing absorbs and returns incoming fire. So when somebody's shooting rockets or bullets or whatever at you, you can use this shield. It'll suck it up in front of your hand, and then you can fling it back at them, which is really, really useful. There's also Electric Smoke, which I used a little bit, but I didn't like it all, which deploys a damaging smoke screen. Now, next up, you've also got Ordnance for your Titans. You got Slaved Warheads, which is a homing barrage of rockets that fires at a single target. So that thing's really good. That's the one I use the most. And there's also Rocket Salvo, which shoots an unguided swarm of rockets at wherever you're aiming. That one's not bad either. And then finally, you get to choose 2 kits. And I only know of 4 kits so far. I'm not sure if there are more, but there are two kit options that you get to choose out of these 4. One is Regen Booster, which your Titan's body shield regenerates faster. So basically, your shield comes back quicker. You can take more damage. There's Nuclear Ejection, which makes your Titan go nuclear when you eject. I think this makes him blow up as soon as you eject, so that can be kind of useful if you're trying to kill another couple of Titans if you're in like a big group battle. Next up, there's auto eject, which automatically ejects and cloaks you when you're doomed. So when your Titan's about to blow up, it automatically sends you out. You don't have to do it yourself, and it automatically cloaks you, so you're disguised from the other Titans in the area. And then finally, there's survivor, which makes your Titan degrade slower when doomed. So when he's doomed, it means that you've taken too much damage that you aren't going to be able to come back from it, and you're going to blow up in X amount of time. So with survivor, it makes it so that blow up time takes longer. But anyway, there you guys have it. That's the basic rundown of the options and the different things you're going to be able to change with your pilot and your Titan in Titanfall. There are so many cool options, and we're only in the beta, guys. Like, this is not even, I'm sure it's not even like a fit of what's going to be available to us in the actual, full retail version of the game. So it's pretty cool. Let me know which weapons and which, attachments and tactical abilities and stuff you guys think sound pretty interesting. Thank you guys so much for watching. I uploaded 3 other Titanfall videos today, so make sure you guys go check those out if you missed them. And I've got like 4 more Titanfall videos coming tomorrow, so make sure you guys check back for those. Now, check out one of the other 2 videos if you haven't seen yet. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out.